Howdy y'all. Welcome back to my channel. This is A.R. Cavley, and these are the further adventures of Russel Miranda, Gunslinger. Our last episode, he barely escaped from the clutches of a sexy but deadly vampiress, and was led to a village of what looked to be the victims of this vampire that were made that he found impaled in kind of a row, almost like a fence, although they were pretty far apart. He found himself in this village as he fled after the hunter who saved him, and he was led to this central hut, and at the top of the hut were an elder couple, a man and a woman, and one spoke to him in the high speech. And that's where we left off, and that's where we'll pick up. Russell looks up at the old man. He taps his throat and offers a greeting. "Good day to you, grandfather." "You're surprised that I can speak the high speech, gunslinger?" "Yes. I could not understand this man at all, what he was saying to me." "Yes, these savages, they speak a very devolved tongue, gibberish, really. Easy to pick up and learn if you spend enough time with them, as I and my wife have." "Are you from Gilead, then? Are you from the Inner Baronies, the Association?" Long ago, they called me Gunslinger. But I have been living here with my wife. It seems like an entire generation, an entire family, an entire world ago, since I stood in the hallowed halls of Gilead. I think my wife sometimes misses it. That's not true. I do miss a dress. I do miss that every now and then, and there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't say there was anything wrong with that, beautiful." And he reaches out and he grabs his wife's hand and kisses it gently. "But where are my manners? I am Marcalos, and this is my wife, Gelisa." "Those are not names I've heard in Gilead." "No, true enough. In Gilead we had much more noble names. Names that I'm sure you might even recognize, Gunslinger. And speaking of names, I am Russel Miranda." "It's nice to meet you, Miranda. It's clear to me that you are a gunslinger, though your family name doesn't ring a bell in my memory. But things have changed, and we are not here to talk about that distant palace, are we?" "No. Was that a vampire?" "Oh, yes. A vampire. Her name is Marguerite Holmes. Also once of Gilead." How exactly she was turned or cursed, I have no idea, nor am I interested. I bet it was from sleeping with demons. Oh, that's a possibility, but let's not give such thoughts light, my dear. So are these your people, your tribe? I came here looking to see who was setting those bodies, impaling them. Oh, yes. They are not our children in a direct sense. But when we, many years ago, moved here to this village, they came from the woods. And, well, we just kind of became their grandfather and grandmother in a sense. And now they are our family. Certainly more of a family than those wretches we left behind in Gilead. Oh, don't speak of them that way. Of course. But then this monster, she calls herself Auntie Marge now, Marguerite Holmes. That was. Yes, I can tell, Gunslinger, by the look in your eyes that you've seen her. And her great wantonness, I'm sure, Gunslinger. At this, Russell can't help but blush. He feels the temperature rise up up his cheeks at the thought. Just thinking about it brings her seductive, even though evil and dark, her seductive stare, the offer of every earthly pleasure that was in her eyes as she smiled at him. And he has to focus again on what they're saying. She has taken to hunting us. She slept for many years. I don't know what woke her. I didn't even know she was there. But we remember the tales of her. She's very old. Let's see. I'm gonna say on a 5 or 6, maybe. Auntie Marge the vampire is a name that he knows from Gilead folklore tales. Oh, he does know who she is. That's Auntie Marge. Oh, so you've heard of her. I've heard tales. My dad used to tell me of her at night to scare me. That doesn't seem very kind, young Russell. I thought she was a myth. Everybody thought she was a myth. I thought she was a myth, too. Until the bodies started showing up. Well, why do you stay? Run, these woods are large. Miles and miles. Surely shouldn't trap you, hunt you down. Well, we can't. We tried. She follows us. She can scent us out. We've tried to fight back, Gunslinger. My hands are too old and useless. And the hunters, Eldunak is his name, the one who saved you. He has led fights against her, but she is too powerful, Gunslinger. And no matter where we hide or where we flee, she finds us. It is a tough. I hate to do it, Gunslinger. It weighs on my heart to consign you. But You are our only hope. I hate to ask, Gunslinger, but we've no other hope. And Ka has dropped you in the middle of this village to serve the white. We need your help, Gunslinger. We need you to destroy this vampire or save my people. One or the other. A chill runs up Russell's spine. Fear, and even more terrifying to him, is the feeling of lust he feels down in his belly at the thought of seeing Auntie Marge again. Even though he knows his mind is screaming at the insanity of it, but she's already got a little hook in there. This beautiful vampire woman, refined, sexy. But Russell knows what he must do. He's got to fight for the white. This is someone who knows who he is. This is someone who is calling upon him as a gunslinger, as a warrior of Gilead. Will you open to me if I open to you? Aye, Gunslinger. Do you see me for what I am and accept what I do? I know you very well, Gunslinger. Do you seek aid and succor? Aye, Gunslinger. In the name of Eld, I do. In the name of the white, I ask you to save my family. Russell smells a rich tobacco smoke from behind, and he looks over his shoulder and he sees that the hunter Eldunak has wrapped him a thick cigarello, fresh tobacco wrapped in some kind of dried leaf, and has lit it, and he takes a long draw on it and hands it to the gunslinger, and Russell takes it eagerly and draws on it. He doesn't know if it's some kind of ritual or if it's his. So he takes a draw, and it's good. Oh, it's good. In fact, it's so fresh that it reminds him how terrible his drying, crumbled tobacco had been even before he sadly smoked his last. And he holds it back out towards Eldunak. And Eldunak holds his hands up and waves it away for him to keep it. That's yours, Gunslinger. We don't have much to give you. We don't have many warriors left. Auntie Marge, she likes the young men. Eldunak is one of the few, and he gifts you his cigarello. That's one thing that we do have. We know where it grows, and we know how to make it. I dare say better than the tobacconists in Gilead. It's definitely good. Well, Mark Carlos, I'll have to admit, I've accepted, but I don't know how to fight Auntie Marge. Well, he looks over at his wife. Marcalos looks over at his wife. And she pats him on the knee. We have an idea about that, gunslinger. You know that it's said that the vampires, that they are feared of those of faith. Those with a strong, true faith can keep them at bay. So I've heard, but I don't see how that helps us. Are you a follower of the man Jesus? No. Are you a follower of the many ways? I know of them, but I have no faith. Not as I've heard of that drives off vampires. Do you believe? And she looks over at Marcalos. In the power of the Eld? Do you believe in the power of the White? It takes a minute for Russell to think about that. He does believe in it, at least on a philosophical level. He believes what he does is good, and he believes that though the way of the Eld is sometimes brutal, that it is for the best. And he certainly believes that Arthur Eld lived, and he believes in the power of the line of Eld. I do. I believe that in the end, the power of the White will prevail, and that the power of Arthur Eld's bloodline will save the world, will carry Midworld, as it was promised, as it was spoken. Well, I guess that's as close as we'll get, Marcalos. We know of a symbol. It was a symbol held by the knights, one of the knights. A religious fervor almost. If you don't believe in the man Jesus, and you believe in the Eld, then this is what you must get. There is an ancient... Well, what is it? What is there that's ancient that's around here? Where is she going to send him? 3-4. 3-4 for wilderness features. A fortified building, huh? There is, at the bottom of an ancient castle, a symbol, a charm, if you will, worn by one of the knights of Eld. But there's something guarding it, isn't there? Let's see. What is guarding it? Another 3-4. Well, that is inhabited by another type of blood drinker. Another tribe of ancient people, driven insane by their time living here in the woods. A family, a powerful family of cannibals. They hold this ancient fortress that at one time, many years ago, served the knights, served the inner baronies as a fortress against the forces of the outer darkness. Our family is now beset by them as well, as we have grown weak, as our hunters are drained and taken by anti-March. But we have seen it, for they stole it from us, and they now worship this item. This, let's see what it is. We'll use our little arcane item table here. 6-2. Oh. A sling or a pistol. Well, pistol definitely makes sense. But now I'm kind of in a, because he has pistols that have Arthur Eld's. They're made from Excalibur, and this is kind of why they were given him. So this pistol has to have something different about it. Something different. And let's see if we can get some inspiration from our complex questions. A 6-3. Theft. So theft and punishment. So this pistol that he needs to recover, what is special about it? Well, this pistol is ancient. It belonged to Auntie Marge's long-lost husband, Saul. I don't even know if the pistol will work, but as a symbol, as a faith in the power of the Eld, Saul Holmes was a direct descendant of Arthur Eld. And we know that that pistol, the holding of it, the invoking of it, will have power over Auntie Marge. And then perhaps she'll go back to sleep. Or perhaps, Gunslinger, you can put a bullet in her heart and follow it with a stake and cut her head off and burn her. All those things that they say in the tales. And we have no time to lose, Gunslinger. Eldunak will lead you to the trail that goes to this ancient castle. But he cannot go with you. He must return. There are few who can help us prepare to perhaps drive her off or save the children, save our village. Go, Gunslinger. Go with the white. Russell's head is spinning over the turn of events. The names from his childhood, horror stories. And Eldunak gives him a wrapped bundle of these cigarellos and hands them to the gunslinger. And the gunslinger, who's still enjoying the one he has, nods and he carefully puts them in his satchel. And he follows Eldenak. After Eldenak and Markalos have a quick discussion, Eldenak leads Russel Miranda to the edge of the village and down a path. And Markalos had explained to him that once he's shown the path, he continues on. And when he gets to the skull tree, that he goes north, and he will find a stony hill, and at the top will be this ancient castle, which are really ruins of a sort, but it will have the cannibals, and he warns that they're not vampires, but they are very dangerous. And without any incident, and with a great amount of hurry so that he can get back, Eldenak leads Russel to the trail, and he makes a symbol with his hand. He makes a sign with his hand, almost like he's what would look like he was crossing himself, and then rushes back to the village and leaves Russel Miranda, head still spinning, stomach warm, as he thinks again of Auntie Marge, and heart beating as he's now caught between a tribe of cannibals and an ancient vampire seductress from the tales of his youth. And even though he didn't really work any scenes out or anything, we're going to call it there. It was close to about the 30-minute mark. Probably a little less after I go back, edit everything out. But we will start next time with the scene and with his assault to recover the pistol of Sir Saul, and hopefully figure out a way to use it against the vampire. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Happy gaming.